Hello, my name is Tanya. I make things. In this video I'm going to talk about English paper piecing, sharing some progress on my quilt. I'm going to talk about mistakes, fix mistakes, and also talk about basic design principles. Let's get into it. Here is what my setup looks like. Everything is laid out on little trays so that I can move it around when I need to. This is my daily task. Every evening I lay out one block to make the next day, and my rule is that I have to make at least one block a day. So when I'm done assembling this, I can do something else. And I cover it with a ruler, which very neatly fits in here, so that the cats have more difficult time destroying it. Here I have some fabric and some paper pieces to make new units, which are stored here. I don't have enough for another block, so I'm going to make some during the day. Everything is removable so that I can clear this table when I need to work on something else. Over this past 2 weeks I made quite a lot of blocks, and I have also made quite a lot of bad decisions. Well, actually one, not too many. I've assembled this middle bit because I was very excited. I got new fabrics that are going to be borders, inside borders and outside borders, and I was ready to move on to the next step, so to speak. So I didn't leave it to lay, to watch it, to see, and I don't have a design wall, so I couldn't just leave it somewhere. I made my decisions very quickly and I didn't think them through very well. Can you see what's wrong with this thing? Yes, no, maybe. Our brains really like patterns, and they don't like broken promises, and they don't like uncertainty. We need to make sure when a pattern is random, like this scrappy thing, it needs to be completely random. It needs to be unapologetically random. But in this case, I have unintentionally created a very strong diagonal that goes from this corner up, and then it ends abruptly. So not only it's a pattern that I have not intended to be there, it's also a broken promise because it doesn't go anywhere. I need to fix this. I can rip out a block and replace it with a different block, and maybe I can even compose a block specifically so that this problem is fixed. Sometimes I see it, sometimes I don't see it. Maybe it's not as strong as I imagined, but I think it's better to be safe than sorry. When we make things like drawings, paintings, sculptures, there's usually an ugly stage. When a drawing looks its worst. But quilts usually don't have an ugly stage. I haven't noticed one yet. So it might be ugly, I might be overthinking, maybe it's fine, maybe nobody else would have noticed this ever, but I'm going to fix it anyway. I need to make sure that I strengthen this seam, but it's going to be okay. Everything can be fixed. That's what I learned from doing crafts. Now let me talk you through the design options that I've created. This is what I originally wanted to make. It has kind of a medallion structure with a lot of borders. That's what I had in mind initially, but then I got the fabric delivered, and for the white bits, the white parts, they are not going to be white naturally, but I've decided that this fabric is so fabulous that I need to show more of it. So I started working on a design where it shows more of the light fabric, and I really like this one, but just for good measure I've decided to make a third option, but the third option is a little bit bigger than I usually like my baby quilts to be. I like them to be around 120 centimeters. This one is going to be a bit bigger, like that. So I think that I'm going to actually stick with the option number 2, which is this one. And I need to do some calculations. I need to cut the light fabric, and I can proceed with attaching the first border to the center. Exciting. Composition is a magical thing, isn't it? Because even the composition makes this design look more playful and childish than that one. And it's just the balance of lights and darks, and the colors are all the same, but somehow this one looks a lot brighter and more inviting and more fun. So I think that it's a good choice for a baby quilt. So what's next? I fixed the problem with the middle part, and now I'm going to, well, I already did. I'm cutting papers that are going to be a base for my borders. And I'm doing it this way because I'm lazy. You see, I could easily do it on a machine, but in order to do this, to attach the border on a machine, well, I already have attached some, I would have to take the papers out. And again, I like precision, so this pattern here is very geometrical, and when I'm doing it by hand I can ensure that everything is very, very square and very, very neat. And I don't want to take the papers out yet because I'm paranoid. You see, when the papers are in, I can come in and edit this thing. I can take this square out and replace it with something else because I think that I should. And if I take the papers out, it's going to be done. No more edits. And it also just feels nice to sit down when the top is finished and take all the papers out. Yeah, let me show you the fabric that I chose for the neutral. It's very, very beautiful. It's very friendly, I should say. The pattern on this fabric isn't printed, it's woven. And all the Japanese fabrics have this quality, they're not printed. I'm going to be doing this during the next couple months. I will also be working on making my blocks. I need 20. I now have 14, I think. And when you see this project next time, we'll probably take some papers out. Yesterday, when I've added this partial border to this block, I've started to feel like I'm falling out of love with the design. It's a very simple design. It's not going to win any prizes, but I thought that it was difficult to mess up. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But when I have done so much work on a project, it's shaping up, and sometimes it's tempting to just rip it apart and start all over again. I've trained myself to never do this. Even if I don't like the project, I'm going to finish it. And if I don't like it when it's finished, I'll find somebody who is going to like it, because it's nice. I just have very high standards. Maybe I'm just tired of this. Maybe it's just my brain doing its brainy thing and everything is a lie and actually it looks lovely. I have no idea, so I'm going to finish this because it's very tempting to rework your work, and you'll just never finish anything if you give into the voice. Everything needs to be perfect. Sometimes things just need to be okay, and it's fine. Just get things done. Sometimes our brains do things to us that are not very helpful. I'll see you next week with something else.